Hello everyone, welcome back. So we're just going to do a little summary today. We're not going to code, we're just going to remind ourselves what we've done so far. So we started off with the methods, and that was a principle called divide and conquer. So if we maintain a large program, it's better to cut it into smaller pieces and small simple pieces. So there's a phrase in English called that's how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, and that's how you approach a large program for maintenance. Then we moved on to methods, and we went into a bit of detail. So methods are declared within classes, and then classes are grouped into packages. So in the last video I was talking a bit about method overloading and the math class in the java.lang, which I keep referring to as java.util, but it's java.lang package, which you can look up online as well. So if you want to look up the Oracle website, you can see all of the classes within a package, and that's the grouping of classes. And then they can be imported and reused. But if it's already part of the java.lang package, obviously then you don't need to import java.lang because it's part of the language. And then the methods allow you to modularize a program by separating it into tasks and then into self-contained units. So this allows for so if you use existing methods to build a new program, then it's really promoting the idea of software reusability, which is one of the main principles of software engineering. Then we spoke a little bit about when you have a method call and you have a return, and it returns either a result to its caller or simply the control. So we spoke in an analogy with it was an employer or a boss and an employee, and the employee then can go off and talk to as many people in that department as they want. So that's multiple methods within one method, and then eventually the return goes back to the caller, so back to the boss, and then that memory is only used within the memory, so then it's finished and it goes away and then it comes back. So a class may contain static methods to perform common tasks, so then you don't need to create a new object for that. And then you access a class static method with a class name .method. So we use the example of math.max as one example, and then there was multiple types of methods that you could use. So there was the long, but you could have long, int, short. There's 4 different types anyway, and in each of them they're method overloaded. So within the math class, then you can see that you can get the max of 2 different parameters within the methods under the same name as max. Then we spoke a little bit about the class fields. So all the objects of a class share one copy of the class static fields, and together the class variables and instant variables represent the fields of the class. So you can place a main method in every class you declare. Only the main method in the class you use to execute the application will be called by the Java command in the compiler. So then methods with multiple parameters, then you can have method arguments with values and assign different corresponding parameters to it. A method though always only returns one value, but, and here's a big but, you can refer to an object that contains multiple values, and we're going to have a really interesting video in the next video, so of how you can put things into collections. Collection is the wrong word, but we'll say data structures, more data structures. So within a method, then you have a method specifies parameters in a comma separated list. And then we also had a little, only a very brief overview on concatenation. So for every primitive type, there is a toString, and you can break down your string literals and spread them out over and then concatenate them together with the plus sign. So for Boolean, then it will be concatenated, and then the word true or false is represented as the Boolean value. Then we had very important point as well. A static method can call directly only other static methods of the same class and can manipulate directly only static variables of that class. Very important. Then we spoke about the data structures and the last in first out, and I said it pushes onto the stack of plates and you pop it off, and it's always the last in first out, so it's always on the top of the stack, and that's known as a data structure. And within that, then the point of control or the program execution goes back to the main program once the return is returned from the method. And so the method called stack frame or activation record then is used. So stack frame for the method that's pushed onto the method called stack, and then it returns to the caller. So the stack frame then is popped off, and we use a stack of plates as an example. And if there are more method calls than the stack frame stored on the method stack frame, then an error known as stack overflow happens. And we also did a case study on the secure random numbers, and then there was with the random numbers you have a shift plus difference multiply the random numbers, and then you have dot next int, and then it reads the next integer. And it's a similar way syntactically, so rules wise, in Java for using the way that we read in our strings into the command line as well. So it's dot next int, and then you have the input, and obviously creating a new object, it's a similar way as well. Okay, that's it for today. That's the end of looking at methods, a deeper look, and in the next video we're going to cover arrays. So it's another type of data structure. We've already covered data structure introduction, so collection of data. So I'm really excited because that's where it starts getting a little bit more tricky, and you can store, obviously with a computer, the main thing is efficiency and speed, and it would be very inefficient if we had integer in this and then another integer here when we can store multiple in a stack. So there are different ways to do it. That's just an example. There are different ways to store multiple things and reference, pass by reference and pass by value and things like that. So we're going to have a chat about that in the next video, so I'm very excited. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to putting up a new one. Okay, thanks, bye.